I asked you your favorite Bollywood movie.
Like, okay, this guy doesn't even know the name. Just let that slide.
Honestly, I should be glad he even watched a Bollywood movie. That's the bare minimum.
The bar was real low.
All of a sudden, this guy, Aman, comes in. Man's is dying, okay?
I thought it got worse, to be honest.
This man came up with his own version of the ending. That was completely dramatic, very Bollywood.
I'm dying, but I found you a husband, though.
Like, I was cringing.
And the songs hit.
Okay, the songs hit a lot.
And it was like awakening core childhood memories to watch that movie.
What was your favorite scene?
Sanju, like that's my favorite reference of all time to make.
Oh my God. Welcome to Bollywood with my husband. My name is Pavan.
And I'm Rohan, the husband. And we're starting this podcast because, well, who doesn't love Bollywood? You know, just like classic, good old Bollywood. But more importantly, Pavan kind of like developed this love for Bollywood and Bollywood films within me, but I would say I'm no expert yet.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert either. I'm just have a love for
Bollywood. You watch a lot more than I do, and you certainly did growing up, right? Pretty much as long as you can remember.
We didn't have cable when I was like under the years of 7. So all we had were these old tapes filled with Bollywood movies.
Nice, classic. I also didn't have cable, but for whatever reason, I had a couple DVDs and things from the libraries, and I turned to Hollywood and a little bit less Bollywood. I still watch movies here and there, some of the classics, not all of them. But I just kind of like connected to it less and probably tried to fit in more with, the white children around me.
Makes sense.
Alas, we're here because I still don't know that much about Bollywood, but I know that we love going to see these movies together. And why not sit here, have fun conversations, share our love for Bollywood with the internet, and maybe I could learn a thing or two along the way.
Definitely. So to get started, I thought we could go back into time, 2020 when we first started dating. And I asked you what your favorite movie was, like your favorite Bollywood movie.
Okay.
Which is?
Well, what I said at the time was Kal Ho Naa Ho.
Which was very impressive because I feel like people who watch Bollywood, like that's not, the first movie that comes to their mind. So I was impressed, but then also I was like, man, he must be like depressed or like a hopeless romantic, which like, I guess hopeless romantic, kind of.
That's not that far off.
Yeah, kind of. But then I was like, maybe I should double check. I was like, oh, what happens in Kal Ho Naa Ho?
Well, I said, isn't that the movie where Shahrukh Khan is this, general dude, not a general, something in the army, major. And, his dad dies. He gets sent to a college undercover to protect the general's daughter. Some terrorism, Pakistan, India. And it's just a good, fun time overall.
So that's when I realized that his favorite movie was definitely not Kal Ho Naa Ho. He actually didn't see that ever until like yesterday.
Yep.
But his real favorite movie was Hoon Na.
Correct.
So, first that was kind of a red flag that you didn't even know which movie was.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't run away at that point. It was like, okay, this guy doesn't even know the name of his favorite Bollywood movie. You just let that slide.
I think by that point you had given me so many like whitewashed flags that I was just like, honestly, I should be glad he even watched a Bollywood movie. And I know that's the bare minimum.
The bar was real low, was very low. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Clearly, upon this realization, that was pretty funny. Since that day, a lot has happened with us. We got married. So clearly something happened correctly. But what didn't happen is we never watched Kal Ho Naa Ho, like you mentioned, up until yesterday, because we decided that would be a great conversation to have for this first episode of the podcast. And why not view these films and gauge my reaction to the movie that I thought was my favorite movie, but I hadn't even seen. Actually, I'd seen parts of it, but I've never seen the entirety of it.
And, you know, me being the double checker was like, oh, we should watch Hoon Na too. So we watched that yesterday.
That was pretty fun.
well.
I'm not going to lie. Watching 2 movies in a row.
And we have established that it was indeed your first, like your favorite childhood Bollywood movie.
Oh, yeah. Like, even just because I knew that I really enjoyed that movie and I'd watched it a bunch as a kid, it's not like I'd watched it a bunch since then, maybe once with Sachin. But that was really fun. And it was like awakening core childhood memories to watch that movie. It still stands. I love it. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, but it's up there.
Really? Wait, what's your favorite now?
Probably Zindagi Na Milega Dobara.
Oh, yeah. I knew that. But we'll get into that one later.
Episode for another day.
Yes. But yeah, so for Hoon Na, you described what happens. Should I describe what happens in Kal Ho Naa Ho just so they know why I was so shocked that was your favorite movie?
Yeah, for the people who don't know, there's like obviously a drastic difference between the movies Kal Ho Naa Ho and Hoon Na. They've heard what happens with Hoon Na. Now, if you guys haven't seen Kal Ho Naa Ho, maybe a good time to go watch it and get the shocker for yourself like I did, instead of letting us spoil it for you. But if you want to stick around and get spoiled, then by all means, or if you've seen it, like you're probably more cultured than I am. So why don't you let us know what happens?
All right. So there's a girl named Nana in the movie. She and her family have gone through many hardships. And then all of a sudden, this guy, Aman, comes into her life where he teaches her how to smile again. And then she slowly starts falling in love with him. But she also has this best friend named Rohit who also loves her because even though Nana's gone through hardships, she's still like a great family member.
You know, one thing I didn't know about this movie until yesterday, that was a fun element I wasn't expecting, is Rohit is Guju, like this guy over here.
Oh, yeah. Rohan is Gujarati. He had a great time. He's like, dang, I actually understand what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool for you, wasn't
Gotta love the Kanta band.
Wait, but anyways, Rohan, back to my horrible summary. So basically, Nana falls in love with Aman, but Aman is... Should I just break the news?
Yeah, homeboy's dying.
Yeah, he's dying. Like literally.
Like real soon.
Like dying, but he doesn't want to tell Nana because then he's like, oh, she's going to be depressed. And then it's just going to be this whole like crap show.
Yep.
So he arranges her and Rohit's love story. I say arranges because Rohit already loves Nana.
Yeah, but Amma definitely made it happen, I would say.
Yeah, he made it happen. He gave him tips and whatnot. So that's like the overall summary.
Yep. And then, you know, he does die.
Okay. Yes, he dies, Rohan. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for bringing that up again.
Mm-hmm. I thought it got worse, to be honest.
Yeah, Rohan. Okay, you know we've been married and dating for a long time because this man came up with his own version of the ending. That was completely dramatic, very Bollywood. Do you want to share?
I'm one of those like annoying people in movies that thinks they can predict the end of it. And I usually can. I'm usually really good at predicting it. But that's, I don't know what, probably really lame. So again, tried it because you said this movie is traumatic and it's like such a sad story. So I thought, what could be sadder than homeboy dying and sacrificing the love of his life to her best friend and making sure that she has somebody to love her and a partner? What could be sadder than that, than if he got them married and everything was all set and then, well, bam, he gets a donor heart and all of a sudden he's just alive and alone and they're just married miserably. And Indians, they don't really get divorced like that. Not in a Bollywood movie, they don't. So now they're just forced to be living separately. And Rohit's over here just like down bad because He knows his wife is in love with some other dude who's just sitting there alive, but they're married.
Rohan is the most green flag.
Bro, he took one for the team.
He really did.
Yeah.
But he ended up with the person he loved.
True. But he was like weirdly okay with sharing her.
I mean, the man's dying, Rohan. How
I know,
could
he
you
even
not share?
Bro, okay, somebody could be dying, but you're telling me I'm supposed to say like, oh yeah, you can have Pavan in the next life? Like, what? Okay.
But you're supposed to love me the way... Like, technically, the love is supposed to be so strong that you just want to see the other person be happy.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, why would you want a half-depressed me?
I mean, I guess if I
you?
was Rohit in this scenario, and
yeah,
makes sense.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, but overall, would you say that you liked Kal Ho Naa Ho?
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Would you watch it again?
That's a good question. Would you watch it again? Because you are somebody who specifically mentioned that you have avoided watching it more than you need to.
Yes.
Maybe like 3 times max. I would watch it again, but kind of like in the scenario that you watched it again, where you're allowing somebody else to experience it for the first time and you're sharing that with them. So you'll watch it with somebody who hasn't seen it before. Do we just need to watch that movie again? Probably not. I mean, it's a good one for sure. There's some fun moments, some classic songs. I knew the songs. Okay, to be fair, I knew all the songs. Because who doesn't know those songs? But yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it again just for fun. Maybe like 10 years from now.
I feel like this is a very good response. Way better than your original. This is my favorite movie. But Main Hoon Na, we could watch that.
Yeah, bro, I watched that in a year.
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe even 6 months.
Yeah, it's a really fun movie. And it has so much cheese in it, but I love it. And I love Sanju. Like, that's my favorite reference of all time to make. And there was just so many fun hidden gems in there with like the spitting professor that I forgot about and all sorts of funny elements. Yeah, it's just good comedy, action, romance. What more could you want?
If you had to compare the movies, even though they're technically uncomparable, what order would you tell people to watch them?
It depends what you're looking for. Do you want like a piece of critically acclaimed cinema with like great writing and a gut-wrenching, heartbreaking story? Then go with Kal Ho Naa Ho. And it's a good one. If you want to watch the Bollywood version of like 50 First Dates and just like, I guess there's not action in that, but just like a really good action rom-com, but like classic movie, then yeah, watch Main Hoon Na. So are you looking to have a good time, or are you looking to watch something that's like, you'll be like, dang, I needed to cry a little bit. Needed a good cry.
What was your favorite scene in Kal Ho Naa Ho?
Oh, it's just the God tub in every time. They brought that joke back over and over and over again, and I couldn't help but laugh every single time. It's just a good old classic, somewhat not politically correct joke made in a 1998 Bollywood movie. I think in 98.
I don't think it was 98, bro.
Wait, Main Hoon Na was 98. Something like that.
Was it?
No, 05 or 03.
Yeah, 05 or 03.
Something like that. Early 2000s.
I don't know. See, clearly we're not the experts because we don't know what year the movie was
And we
made.
never claim to be experts. We just like watching these movies.
I'm just, just reiterating.
We are not experts. Don't hate us for our
I can't even hear you.
poor or good opinions of Bollywood movies. Yep. She'll find out when she watches the episode, I guess.
Oh my God.
Should we rate the movies? I know we talked about one over the other. Let me ask you. Out of 10 stars, Pavan. First, without comparing them, just rate them individually for what they are. Main Hoon Na.
Okay, Main Hoon Na has the romance, the action, the family trauma.
Mm-hmm. So drama too. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Trauma. Rudra trauma. Romance trauma and traumedy. Traumedy?
I
Yeah.
think yeah, traumedy.
Traumedy.
Traumedy, okay?
Coining that one.
So it's a good traumedy. So I would say you can't beat like an old Bollywood movie. Like we've seen some new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're also like great, but it's just the old magic was there. Like, yeah, it was cheesy, but the storyline was just good, in my opinion. So I would say like 7.
7 out of 10.
But just
7.5.
so
Whoa.
people know my ratings, I'm a huge Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum fan, so I would rate that like 9 out of 10.
Fair.
Wait, so then I would rate Main Hoon Na like 6.8 out of 10.
6.8. That's lower than I would. Dang. Sheesh. I mean, okay. The only thing you can knock Main Hoon Na on, in my opinion, because I actually think the writing was wonderful. I think the editing and the pacing of the film, it just had a little bit of cheese.
I just feel like there were also some plot holes.
Yeah, there were a couple plot holes. I think specifically he's like pulling Lucky up from the roof, and like they show the shot of them hanging, and then all of a sudden they're just on the roof, and it's like, couldn't they just given him the rope at that point?
But also like there were just like some scenes missing, or maybe like we weren't paying attention and they were there. But like, how did Lucky get on the plane?
Like, how did he find the chopper? Because he got on it, but like, how did he? And then like, what is this dude in the army just gonna let this college student onto his chopper when he has no clue who he is? Yeah, of course, there's some plot holes like that. I would definitely say so.
Which is why, like, I feel like these days those plot holes don't exist.
Sometimes they do. Did you watch Pathan?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. But that was Shahrukh Khan's comeback. Like, come on, let's just.
It's fine, Shahrukh Khan.
Let's cut him some slack there, okay?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, as an audience, if you're there to have a fun time, which I usually am, I have a hard time being overly critical to a film. Do I notice the mistakes? Of course I do. It's hard for me not to. But am I totally fine with it and ready to have a great time anyway? Yeah. And that's how I feel about Main Hoon Na, because I think the story was awesome. Yeah, some of the plot holes, like little things like that. Some of the special effects were like, well, specifically with them like flying and like floating in the air for a little too long. You'd think they were like Super Saiyan or something. But
okay, but technically there was this great slow-mo scene that was just funny and just great.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that when Shahrukh Khan was getting beaten? So fine. Maybe I can do like a 6.9.
Okay. For me, I'd rate it like a solid 7.5. But again, it just depends what you're looking for. Like, are there some critiques? Of course. But like, honestly, think the acting was solid. I didn't see any issues with the acting. The writing was good. Editing was good. Just some special effects problems and some small plot holes, I would say. Which is not bad. And the songs hit.
Okay, the songs hit a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely do. Moving on.
Kal Ho Naa Ho.
What do you rate it out of 10?
I would say 7.2.
That's weirdly close. I was expecting like a higher score for Kal Ho Naa Ho.
I don't know. It's just a number that sounds good to me. It's okay. The only reason I say this is because the biggest issue I had with the movie is like, Mans is dying, okay? Uh-huh. He's dying in the hospital. And all of a sudden, he takes the IV out of his arm and he's like, I gotta go.
And then he just runs a marathon.
Yes, like
all around New York City.
Being a heart patient, you would have not survived that. Like the mom didn't even try to stop him. Yeah. Like that's the craziest part. But he ran. He ran to Rohan's house, and then he ran to.
And then he ran again.
Yeah, like, and he was just sweating this whole time, and I'm like, just collapse, bro. Like we know you're gonna collapse. Like I'm wondering if he would have lived like 2 months longer if he hadn't done that.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he definitely put his heart to work. And the other thing is, this is New York City in 2003. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see him get on the phone and be like, I'm running to you. Where are you? And also there's a subway, there's taxis, and there definitely is no Find My Friends at that point. So that was a little concerning. I'll give it that.
Yes. Like, I think that was just, it was like, it's a definition between like great and amazing.
I got you. There was that's the thing is like with all these older Bollywood movies, my criticism is usually something to do with missing element of reality.
Yeah.
But then, isn't that okay? It's Bollywood. It's for dreamers.
It is okay.
Yeah. I mean, my other issues, well, since we're naming them, okay, my other issues with this movie, first off, blaring issue number 1. Now, I know I might get canceled for this, but I'm Guju, okay? Am I Patel? No. But there's no way Rohit's family was just dropping money like that. Like, that is not what Gujus do. Okay?
That was one of your issues.
Yeah, like, they were just like, they were, I mean, granted, he didn't buy that random necklace for Camila, but like, yeah, I don't know. There was that. Okay. His proposal, there is no way his proposal was that lit. If anybody remembers the proposal scene, he had like spotlight operators. It was in like an empty museum with backup singers.
But you have to remember he's rich.
Yeah, but like,
he's rich and maybe he was an only child too.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I'm in New York City.
Okay, fine.
I don't know. And the lack of people in the background in so many of the scenes. It's like they just got Central Park to themselves.
Yeah. But that's also like how Bollywood does their things. They go to this remote location.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't take me out of the story, to be honest, except for like a couple moments. I don't know. I would rate this one pretty highly too. I have a hard time rating it higher than Hoon Na, but to be honest, it is like, depending what you're looking for, I think it's just a really unique story, especially for its time.
Yes.
And in that way, I would say it was kind of like game changing in that sense, to like truly just have a sad movie and a sad ending. Not too many, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making a claim because I don't actually know that many Bollywood movies, but I feel like early 2000s Bollywood movies had happy endings for the most part.
Technically, it was happy.
I guess. It was like happy-ish.
Yeah, happy-ish. Which, that's good. It's the first movie that hits that realistic thing. Like, you're not going to be happy all the way. You're only going to be happy partially.
It's that good old Indian happy. Like, I'm dying, but I found you a husband, though.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, so what's your score?
Oh. What is my score? I would say probably like 7.9 out of 10.
Really? Man, you're giving these movies high scores for a person that thinks these movies are cheesy.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be cheesy.
I know. That's what I told you.
I don't know.
But now I'm just like, we got to watch some more movies
Probably.
and review some more.
Dude, the thing is, like, I make such a bad movie critic because I'll point out everything that was wrong with the movie. But then when it comes to scoring it out of 10, I'll just be like, but it was fun to watch and I had fun. Give it an 8 out of 10.
It's fine.
I don't know. Like, it's just, yeah. Like, what would I give a 10 out of 10? I couldn't even answer that. I don't think there's been any Bollywood movie that I would.
I feel like you can't give anything a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but even a 9 sounds hard.
What about the Sanjay Dutt movie?
Sanju?
Yeah, Sanju.
I mean, it was a good movie, but it had every bit of its problems too.
True.
Yeah. Okay, I know we've been reviewing things for a while, but what do we think about like actor performances? You know, like Shahrukh Khan was in both of these movies. He's a shared element. And around his early 2000s era, his performances was somewhat consistent. Like he kind of just played a very similar character. Although I would say, you know, Major Ram was definitely not as flagrant.
Yeah, I feel like Aman had the swag and the confidence. Major Ram had the confidence, but not when it came to girls.
Yeah, which is, I mean, yeah.
He was just like a very goody two shoes man who was a soldier.
And there was some cheese in that though, and his like faked nervousness, I believe. Like,
yeah,
I didn't really see any faults in his performances as Aman. It was pretty solid. Other than like, yeah, I just think about how sweaty he was during certain moments, and I'm like, okay, that was a little strange, but that didn't really have anything to do with his acting per se.
The part that I actually hated is when he found Nana and she hugged him while he was in peak sweatiness. Like I was cringing on the inside so hard. See, that might be the reason my stars are not.
Listen, I could be dying. My heart could be failing this very moment. And if I was covered in sweat, you'd tell me to take a shower first.
Yeah.
Probably call me a bunda too.
Yeah. But no, I think Shahrukh Khan did a great job. But that's like classic Shahrukh Khan, the romantic king, you know?
Uh-huh. A lot of people don't. They really hate it. They think it's like overacting cheese. I think it's perfect for what it needs to be.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm very biased towards him. So my opinion shouldn't count.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so one thing I wanted to say is I don't know if people are going to like comment on the podcast or give us thoughts. But if anybody out there was like, oh, I actually enjoyed being thrown back to the days of Hoon Na and Kal Ho Naa Ho, are there any other movies that we should compare, or just like those are hard to compare because they're not even related to each other, other than the fact that I thought they were the same movie. But other films we should talk about or see, let us know. I think that would be fun to do. And with that, I think we should get into our special game.
Yes. And we should come back to this whole actor review thing.
I like that. Yeah.
Because we only did one actor.
Oh.
It's like he sponsored us. He definitely did not.
Well, he was only one in both movies.
Oh, yeah. True. Okay, fine. It's related.
Okay.
Okay. So the game, it's not really a game. It's okay, fine. It's a guessing game. Okay. Point is, in this segment, what we're doing is I am going to show Rohan pictures of actors and try to give like a brief description of who they are, and then give like 2 movies that they've been in. So like maybe he'll like recognize it. But basically his goal is to guess who the actor is.
And the point of this game, because we mentioned at the starting of the podcast, by the way, I don't know what actors she's put on here. I don't know what faces. And I'm probably going to get a lot of them wrong. But the point is that we're trying to educate me. We're going to school, Bollywood school.
Yes, like at the end of all of this, the end game is Rohan. Like as we keep doing this, Rohan will start to recognize the actors a little more. Like the actors are going to be from movies that like we've just discussed.
Wait, should I get points if I get it right?
I guess, but you don't.
Is there a prize?
The prize is knowledge.
What about like ice cream?
You can have a waffle cone. We don't even have ice cream at home.
Dang. Okay, how about I get a point if I get it right, and you get a point if I get it wrong. And we all know you're going to win this game.
And whoever gets the most points gets to pick the next movie.
Oh, wow.
Is that too hard?
No,
then
let's do it.
But then I'll just be winning. Okay, you know what? It's fine.
You probably know more about the movies anyway, so as far as picking the next movie goes. Let's get into it. What is this game?
I already said what the game is.
Well, let's do the thing. I'm ready.
Okay, so we're going to start off easy. If you don't know, okay, relax. No.
I'm warming up.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So the first one should be easy.
Uh-huh.
For those who aren't like watching this, I'm going to describe it first and then I'll show you the picture.
Yep.
Okay. So the first actor, the king of Bollywood with the most romantic eyes. He's been in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum and recently in Pathaan. Hopefully you already guessed it.
I see. So based off the orange shirt and the slight flow in his hair, Saif Ali Khan? Just kidding, it's Shahrukh Khan. Let's go. 1 point for Rohan.
I was about to be really disturbed. Okay. So the second one comes from a very royal family, married twice, and is the universe to Kareena Kapoor Khan. And he's been in Love Ajkal and Salam Namaste.
Okay. Why do I feel like it's the person I just guessed? It's Rohit, a.k.a. Saif Ali Khan.
Wow, you're doing great. 2 points.
Better than I thought I would do.
Okay. The next actress,
just
to let you know, she's female.
I figured.
Lives in Los Angeles and is also an entrepreneur. Has starred in the amazing Veer Zara and Koi Mil Gaya.
Okay. I see. I actually know this one. I was, for the longest time, there's another actress who looks somewhat similar to her.
Do you know who?
I'm blanking on the name right now. But when they're in movies together, I get real confused because weren't they in Veer Zara together?
Are you talking about the Punjabi actress who played or the lawyer?
The lawyer.
Bro, come on. You have to remember her name.
Well, we'll get to it, okay?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
For this one, it's Preeti Zinta.
That is true. Wow, 3
points. I might win this thing, Pavan. You maybe made it a little too easy, okay?
Dang. Maybe you have been more educated.
Now, if you asked me the same thing when we first started dating, I wouldn't have had any clue who she was. But I've learned things, especially when we watched Veer Zara. Then I remembered her name.
Dang. Okay. An amazing actress who was a staple to the industry in the 2000s, 2005 vibes. She acted in Viva, which you haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. I have no clue what movie that is.
Dang. And Ishq Vishk.
No clue what movie that is.
Okay, but they're also doing a remake.
Exciting.
So
maybe that's an episode.
Yeah, maybe that's an episode. But let's pull her up.
Of course, it's Sanju. And I think I know her name. But the only reason I know this, and I probably shouldn't get a point, is because the whole thing is we were trying to make it so I wouldn't learn these names when we watched the movies literally yesterday. But then during the end credits, their names popped up. So I think her name is Amrita Rao.
Wow. Okay, fine. Maybe this game is rigged. I really thought he wouldn't remember her first name because he kept saying Rao.
Yeah, and then it just struck me.
Do you just remember Rao because of the pasta sauce?
Yep, that's why.
Dang. It's on sale on Costco, by the way.
We should get some.
Maybe. Okay. The next one is a co-founder of a production company named Popcorn Entertainment.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. I didn't either. I just Googled it.
Cool.
He's been in Hera Fairy and De Dana Dan.
I don't know those movies.
Okay. His daughter also got married recently. You probably saw her Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, it's Raghavan from Mehuna. But yeah, I don't know his name.
Okay, it's Sunil Shetty.
Sounds like a name I know. 1 point for Pavan. Fine. But I got 4 so far, right?
Yeah, 4. Except you're not counting the Amrita one.
Call it 3.5.
Okay, yeah, 3.5. Okay. The next lady won next actress. She's won Miss Universe in 1994.
Wow.
And she adopted 2 lovely daughters.
Wow.
And last I heard, she isn't married. But she's all about woman empowerment. Bought herself an engagement ring. Because she's like, why not? At least we might
Ballin'.
I might be wrong about that, but you know. But she's been in Maine Pyar Kyun Kiya, BV number 1.
Don't know those movies.
But
I see. Professor Chandni. You really, yeah, I guess it makes sense to pick actresses from the movie we just watched. Don't know who the heck this person is.
her name is Sushmita Sen.
Oh, I haven't even heard that one before.
Dang. She was also in that one Hulu show I watched, Hulu Hotstar. Crap, I forget the name. It started Arya.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely know what that is. Okay, but hey, didn't do bad today. You made it too easy. Ha! 3.5 to 2, 3. What'd you get?
I guess 1.5. No, 2.5. No, I got 1.5.
No, you definitely got 2.5.
Oh yeah, 2.5.
2.5 to 3.5. Nah, 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 nah. And with that, thank you for listening to Bollywood with me, her husband.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm excited for more episodes.
Did you have fun?
I think overall, yes. I definitely feel like you can tell it's my first podcast for the most part. Because
So we're not going to just quit after one episode?
No, because in the future, we're going to have like themed episodes. This was just one of those like outliers.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. If this felt like all over the place, it's because we were somehow trying to relate Hoon Na with Kal Ho Naa Ho.
And with ourselves.
Yeah. But they're going to make a lot more sense in the future going forward.
Yes.
Maybe.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And bye.
That's all you're going to say bye? That was so lame.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Go guju with it? Aujo. Dun, dun, dun. And this has been Bollywood with my husband.
Keep watching movies.
And keep listening to our mediocre opinions.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.